European leaders have come out and said that it's time for them to do more and take the stage as the new leaders in the world as the U.S. takes steps backwards. This comes after Trump and JD had a very tense meeting. That's the word that's been thrown around with Zelensky at the Oval Office. We've got the first reported death attributed to measles and God knows how long, with cases now spreading in New York and New Jersey. Oh, and there's fish that are popping up on the beaches. Fish that apparently are only seen when a natural disaster occurs. 3 of them. So God only knows what that is about. But I'm here to talk about what's really most important out of all of that. Determining who are the greatest families in Hollywood.
Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces passing, I'm homebound.
What is going on, beautiful ladies and gentlemen? I am your host, JLW, and I want to thank you all so much for joining me for episode 47 of Stand on Business. No, that was not a joke. We are seriously talking about the top 3 greatest families in Hollywood. Without a doubt, it's very easy to me who number 1 is, and they were recently honored, which is another reason that I wanted to talk about them, because it felt like that moment kind of came and went so quickly. I know who number 2 is. Number 3 I'm struggling with because when I look at the first 2 families, I can see the similarities between the 2. I can point to criteria as to why I would put them on my list. Like, oh, how large is the impact of the family? How many people amongst the group of family members is actually doing something in the business and doing it to a level that exceeds the average, that exceeds the middle? Are there individuals in this family that a lot of people know? Is it more than one individual in this family that a lot of people know? The third one, it gets a little bit trickier for me. So we're going to look at a list. Before we begin, we're going to look at a list of families to see who we could throw in there for the number 3 spot. And I'm not going to, well, I guess I'll give my opinion on who I think number 3 should be, but I'm going to need y'all to take the reins on that. All right, so I just found a random list on whatever the hell Yardbarker is that says the 25 most iconic acting families in movie history. We don't have to go through all 25, but at least look at some that like I feel like should be recognizable, like the Arquette family, which I'm looking at them and already I can't put this on my number 3 because I only really know David Arquette, right? And we really only know him from the Scream franchise. But let's see here. While the 5 Arquette siblings are most notable, their father Louis and grandfather Cliff were Hollywood staples of their time. Rosanna is an accomplished actress like her sister Patricia. Oh, right, there's Patricia Arquette as well. Which one is Patricia? Okay, so I do know her because she was in the Medium series, right? Was it her television series, Medium? That was a good show. So this is what I'm talking about, right? You have 2 family members that, like, I feel like to this day, people still kind of know. David, a little bit more just because of the Scream franchise and how popular it was and seemed to have resurged to be. Outside of that, though, I just don't see how that would be number 3. The Baldwin brothers. Again, we're looking at these 4 individuals here, and everybody knows Alec Baldwin, but I don't even know if the reason we know him is really good anymore. Like, obviously, he had a ton of hits. They even named some right here. The Hunt for Red October, The Cooler, 30 Rock. 30 Rock is the biggest one, I think. Rust is what everybody knows him for. The movie didn't even do well, but because of the shooting incident that he's facing, that's why it was like everybody knows him. Not a really good reason. So we do know that, was it Stephen Baldwin's daughter is dating Justin Bieber? So that would I make them so far higher than the Arquettes, I would think, right? Because then you're combining their family and what JB and JB's family, and that could lead to a potential dynasty. Yeah, what is it? Haley Baldwin? Well, I guess it's Haley Bieber now. Right. American model, businesswoman, socialite, and creative director. Okay, so I think that definitely makes them a little bit higher. So, okay, well, no. Coppola family. Now, this is one I had thought about for a little bit just because of the greatness of Francis Ford Coppola and then the also greatness of Nicolas Cage. And then isn't his daughter now also a pretty renowned director, I want to say? There we go. In the Coppola clan, filmmaking is a family business. Sofia Coppola chose to follow in the footsteps of her father, Francis Ford Coppola, and through the feature film she has directed, she has made her own way, winning the Oscar for Best Screenplay for Lost in Translation, the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival for Somewhere, and the Director's Award at the Cannes Film Festival for Beguiled. I swear I thought she had something going on in Sundance, but I guess I just made that up. Big name, big name, big name, so I would put them on the damn list of individuals to take the 3rd spot. The Han Hudson family. Goldie Hawn got to start a laugh in and earn the, okay, I think you could actually put this family on the list. Dad's famous, mom's famous, son's famous. Do I know the daughter? Her children with Bill Hudson, Kate Hudson, and Oliver Hudson have also enjoyed solid careers in Hollywood. Like, he's one of those dudes that you wouldn't know the name. I wouldn't know his name, but his face is recognizable, and I could probably name a project with him in it, at least a TV show. The Houston family. The Howard family, which is a pretty good pick, except there's only really two of them that I would go huge impact, which one being Ron Howard, a great director, and then Bryce Dallas Howard, surprising a lot of people that she was the daughter, but also having a incredible career. Talented, funny, no. Redgrave family, no. Estevez Sheen family, this is the other name that I was like, this makes a lot of sense to me. I would put them on the list without a doubt. You've got the Sheens and the Estevez, whether they're talking about Estevez or the family stage name Sheen. This group is up there with the most successful and infamous acting families in Hollywood history. Father Martin Sheen, The West Wing, Apocalypse Now, West Wing being my favorite of the two mentioned there, and I think of his projects, is one of the great actors of all time. Then you got Emilio Estevez, The Breakfast Club, The Mighty Ducks. Breakfast Club was a great watch, doesn't matter who you are. Rose the Fame as a member of the 1980s Brat Pack. Brat Pack was a group of young actors who starred in many coming-of-age films in the 1980s. The term was originally used as a negative label, but some fans later came to embrace it. I always thought it was a good thing. I didn't even know it was a negative thing. Members of the Pack. Emilio Estevez starred in The Breakfast Club, St. Elmo's Fire, The Mighty Ducks, and Young Guns. The Mighty Ducks is also a really good one, and St. Elmo's Fire, and The Young Guns. Actually, that entire list, solid. Anthony Michael Hall co-starred with Molly Ringwald in The Breakfast Club. Didn't he have a show later on in life, too? Doesn't matter. Rob Lowe, member of the Brat Pack, still kind of relevant to the day. I think a lot of people still know Rob Lowe, right? At least, if not for nothing else, in his damn Nutrigrain bars or whatever the hell he'd be selling all the damn time. Andrew McCarthy started The Breakfast Club in St. Elmo's Fire. That was the main kid in The Breakfast Club. No, nerdy kid, right? Yeah. Yes. Demi Moore dated Emilio Estevez. That's effed up. Like, okay, you can't say all these people and what they've done and then just say Demi Moore's only achievement is dating Emilio Estevez. No, we're not doing that, because that'd be like saying, oh, wife of Bruce Willis, wife of Ashton Kutcher. No, she's also got credits to her name, y'all. The Substance, which just came out, I haven't watched yet, but I hear it's one extremely graphic movie, but really, really good movie as well. She's also got Ghost, Indecent Proposal. Look at these are hits. Striptease I've never seen, G.I. Jane. This is what got Chris Rock smacked. Charlie's Angels, A Few Good Men, Disclosure, The Juror. I mean, just solid resume. So let's do a little bit more than just dated Emilio Estevez. Fair consideration for the third largest family in Hollywood. Maybe that's the wrong title. Popular? The three most popular families in Hollywood? Is it the three biggest families? Iconic. I like the use of the word iconic too, but I'm gonna go with the three most popular families in Hollywood by sheer volume. That's the only metric, just by sheer number of people. All right, who else do we have? The Smith family. I thought about this one as well. This one, the only reason that I didn't solidify and lock it in is just because the only one to me that's a true superstar is Will, obviously, right? Like Jada has, don't get me wrong, Jada has hits, great films, great projects. You know what? I'm not even going to take it away from her. Yeah, no, 100%. But then the kids are just famous for being kids. Well, no, I'm not going to do that either, because you got Willow, who's got a really successful music career. And to me, arguably the most talented amongst at least the children. Really seems like she knows who she is and what she wants to project to the world. And then you got Jaden, who's kind of in the weird bubble. Started off being like thrown into the spotlight super early on. Had some okay movies with The Karate Kid, and After Earth was trash, so never mind. Oh, an okay movie in The Karate Kid. Sorry was a pretty good album. I still think Will is just the most talented, but you don't have to compete. You know, we got to stop doing that anyway, making people compete, especially family members. The whole thing was I didn't solidify them in number 3. Oh, then you got Trey, who I think somebody told me, yeah, one of the guys that I asked at work about who would you put at number 3 said the Smiths and said that he's doing pretty well as a DJ for himself. But I was like, man, it's just that the two that I have on the list have a bunch of people a bunch of branches on the family tree that allow them to go out and just kind of like spread influence throughout Hollywood, versus the Smith family feels very contained, right? It's the mom, dads, and the children. There's no cousins or uncles or aunties. Not saying that they don't, but we don't know them. Jolie family, I don't even know who the hell this is. I'm guessing a brother because he kind of looks like Jolie, and now I can kind of see that how they could be related, because everybody was always like, how the hell is Angelina Jolie come from the nutsack of John Voight? But then when you put them together, you can kind of see it. It's a little bit more clearer here. It's hard to put them because it's just the two of them. And then finally, you've got the Wayans family, which is interesting that they bring them up, and that's all I say about that. So it's up to you to decide who you put at number 3. Me personally, I'm leaning towards Estevez Sheen, just because of they have the 3 members. It's all 3 of them have like iconic movies, iconic roles. I think most everyday ordinary people would recognize any of the names, whether you said Michael or Charlie or Emilio. I think still to this day, even maybe Gen Z, although that's kind of pushing it, I think, which is why, if not them, I would go Smith. I think those are the 2 for me that are vying for number 3 on the list. But y'all got to let me know amongst the names we just said right there, who would you put at number 3? Now it's time to get into the 2 that I think, without a doubt, are the most popular, most influential, biggest families in Hollywood currently. The honorable mention to what has just become of Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence's union, because now you're talking about 2 legends in their own right, combining what I already know to be probably full of very talented people. All right, if you haven't guessed it, number 2 is coming in with the Kardashians. No more ceremony to it. It's the Kardashians. It's got to be the Kardashians.
Morning.
Who are you meeting with? Be nice.
Team, you're just
Do it
no one wants
tonight.
you in the shoot.
Okay, no.
Get the out of here and go. Get the out of here and go. No one wants you in the shoot. I'm planning it.
You
I'm
guys
planning
just
the
be
shoot.
nice to each
So we
other.
don't want you in the shoot.
Is that a girl magazine? No gender roles. Actually, no. New administration. Gender roles are back. It's a girl magazine. Wondering who the richest Kardashian, and here's a ranking of their family's net worths. All right, so you got Kendall Jenner, $60 million. Kendall is the highest paid supermodel in the industry and has been for several years. On top of her modeling, she makes money for endorsements, the family's reality show, and 818 Tequila. Because every celebrity, you can't even call yourself a celebrity unless you have a tequila brand. You just can't. Moving on, Khloe Kardashian also coming in at $60 million. Khloe and Kendall are net worth twins, but their sources of income couldn't be more different aside from the Kardashians of it all. While Kendall has made the bulk of her money modeling, Khloe followed in Kim's footsteps and has had huge success with her fashion brand, Good American. Then we've got Kourtney. See, who the hell is this? The bulk of Kourtney's net worth presumably comes from her lifestyle brand, Poosh. What the fuck? You know what? Let's at least look at one of these brands. While I'm sitting here doing all this extra ish, maybe there's some ish on there that I would like, or like for somebody to wear. Push. Ways to help protect your health against air pollution. Okay. No, how about, what is this? What is this brand? What am I looking at? Oh, sexual wellness. Well, let's just check this out. How your attachment style impacts your sex life. Well, we're here now. We might as well read what's going on here. Attachment styles are influenced by the way love was shown to us in our childhoods. Your style, anxious, avoidant, and secure, can impact every area of your relationship, including how you behave in the bedroom. Relationships and sex can be so complicated with so many misunderstandings. Understanding attachment style sheds light on emotional triggers surrounding intimacy, says Dr. Jennifer Gonzalez. Knowing how you and your partner respond to closeness and vulnerability allows for healthier and practical conversation. Okay, this is not as fun as I thought it was going to be to read. What else do you have? And what do I hear? Women are often not having the sex lives they wish. They're tired and not feeling engaged with their partner. They just want to get it over with or even avoid sex altogether. Lots of women don't orgasm during intercourse without clitoral stimulation. Just this week, a woman told me I've never had an orgasm. Too many women are not only not having orgasms for intercourse, but not climaxing at all. Wait, too many women are not only not having orgasms from intercourse, but not climaxing at all. Isn't it the same thing? Too many women are not only having orgasms, right? You're not getting off, but you're also not climaxing. Are those two different things? Have I been doing wrong my entire life? Is there 2 stages of this? There's a climax and then the orgasm? I got to reread my Karma Tuesday book. I want you to know I used to be right there with you. I had never had vaginal orgasms, let alone multiple orgasms, until I fixed my pelvic floor dysfunction through pelvic floor training. Pay attention to this, women, because what she's saying is it's not us guys, it's you women and your dysfunctional pelvic floors. Y'all need to train it so that y'all can have orgasms. Y'all train those things out. We'd be just knocking them out the park all day. We'd be giving you the climax and the orgasm. What about the position? That's what I really want to hear about. The position is key. It is by far the easiest for most women to have an orgasm from intercourse if they are on top, which is what I've been trying to tell y'all. Stop being lazy. Stop letting it lay on your back. Stop wanting the men to do the work. You got to get on top and you got to go after what you want. Wait, should I say this? Wait, hold on. Should I say this? Yeah, fuck it. Why not? Somebody had asked me what I thought was the key to women being able to keep a man. I really shouldn't say this, actually. Hold on. 'Cause I feel like it wasn't sexist when I said it. It was coming from an actual honest place. And I feel like men are going to understand it, but I feel like some of y'all are going to be like, you genderist pig, especially with the current climate. When you're asked what top favorite positions are, everybody needs to just go ahead and say reverse cowgirl so we can start spreading the word that reverse cowgirl needs to be enjoyed and embraced. But also, I guess you got to have the size for it. The moves are also much easier and less tiring to do for a long period of time, leaving you energy to keep going and reap the benefits over and over. This will help you stimulate your G-spot to get you to those vaginal orgasms. We're supposed to be reading about Chloe, right? How did we get here? It doesn't matter. Okay, all right. I can tell she knows what she's doing. I can just tell from these movements alone that she's somebody, when she's ready to go, she's going to get hers, right? You're not going to be able to leave the room until she done got what she wanted to get. You're not going to be able to leave the room until the sheets underneath y'all have to be changed or laid in. It depends on what kind of freak you into. Yeah, see the front? You see that movement right there? As she's taking the time, she's not rushing it. She's not unsure. We're supposed to be talking about Chloe. What's happening right now? I am off topic, but you know what? We're going to have a sex talk one of these days. We're going to do a stand-on business sex talk one of these days because it's one of my favorite subjects. It might be my favorite subject. So Khloe Kardashian has this thing going on with Poosh, mastermind behind the sex tape being released of Ray J and Kim Kardashian. But personally, and we can go ahead and talk about one of the things that I find, do I want to say respectful? One of the things that has led to the continued success of this family is the willingness to go there where other people want, to sacrifice certain comforts that most of us enjoy. For example, if we're to look at the sex tape, right? Most of us enjoy the privacy of having a sex life that isn't out there for the public to consume or critique, more importantly, right? Because if we all thought we could be sexy porn stars, then a lot more of us would be willing to go on camera and put our performance out there. Also, the societal backlash coming back at you of maybe losing your job because they're like, hey, this is all supposed to be covered up. So the fact that they were, her and hopefully Kim and Ray, let's take Ray into consideration here, were willing to forego the comfort of being able to walk in public and not have people call you a slut or shame you for acting in this manner. Not saying that people didn't, but to be like, I'm okay with that, gets you to being a family that's worth over $1 billion, right? So hats off to the family for doing something like that, which is another reason that they're number 2 on my list of most still haven't figured out the adjective to describe what we're trying to say about this family. So what about Kris? Well, I mean, it makes sense. Kris gets a 10% cut of her kids' earnings. What the fuck? As their momager. Hold the hell on. So far, the highest we've seen is $65 million. Somebody want to do the math real quick? What is 10% of $65 million? It is. No, you didn't do it right. You didn't do it. Hold on. No, I got this, guys. I don't need your help. No, I got it. Hold on. Adding another zero gets us to who knows how much. A lot of money. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. What the hell is going on right now? What is happening right now? Just is it 6 million? Is it? I mentioned I went to public school, right? Let's see. We're gonna figure this out. We're not leaving until I get this damn number correct. You know what? I know how to get this. I know. This feels so bad. You can tell I've never had nowhere close to $65 million written out. How many zeros is that? I was right. Okay, no, I was right. It's 6 zeros. Cool. So when I said, give me 10, it's $6.5 million. Holy it! I am so embarrassed. I should cut this. I should, but I already kind of skated out of saying my take on what will keep a man for a woman. So I won't skate on this, and I'll show you how dumb I am in this moment right here because I feel absolutely stupid. I should be able to do this in my head. I don't like math. I didn't feel like making my brain work. And when your kid is a billionaire, that cut is big. Hence her reported $170 million net worth. Again, I still feel like this is an underrepresentation of how much they actually make. Example, Forbes reports that Kris was paid an estimated $17 million by Kylie in 2018. $17 million. Kris Jenner breaks down Kylie Jenner's $600 million Coty Cosmetics deal. Here we go. Teen Vogue. Isn't this also a girl magazine? Ever since it was revealed that Kylie Jenner sold 51% of Kylie Cosmetics to global company Keke, the beauty community has been filled with a flurry of murmurs and questions, but Kris has all the answers. Well, I'm looking, and I'm wanting to know. This company owns brands like Rimmel London, OPI, CoverGirl, and more things that I just have never in my life looked up and will probably never in my life look up. Purchased over half of Kylie's Cosmetics for $600 million this Monday, November 18th, marking the new value of the company at almost $1.2 billion. Here's the other thing that I respect about this family, and this is something that's going to be said about the first family as well. Nepotism gets a bad rep. People don't like nepo babies, or some celebrities don't like being called nepo babies because they feel like it diminishes their value. It makes them feel like the work that I've put into this isn't being received or appreciated because y'all think that I got here because of mommy or daddy or uncle or cousins or on the casting couch. That's not nepotism. That's something different. But the point is somebody else is responsible for why I'm here. Here's my thing, right? One, embrace the gift you were given, right? Not everybody. In fact, most people are not born into a situation like the Jenners, the Kardashians, the Blue Ivies, the Psalms, the, give me some other names, the Smiths, whatever have you. Most of us are not blessed to be born into a family that just comes from not just money, but ridiculously stupid amounts of money, where you literally, if you choose to and have a good family enough, would not have to work if you did not want to. So embrace that, take that, because it's an advantage that, you know, like most people would kill to have. We would be acting the same way had we been born into that same blessing. Secondly, nepotism to me does not mean that you don't work hard, because we've all seen individuals who get the chance, the opportunity to go into the field that their parents are in, or go into a field that they want to go in because of their connections, and completely bomb in that field because they suck. They don't do the work. They're not as talented or whatever. And here comes the kind of kickback or the drawback of that nepotism is that you're going to get double the critique, because then people are going to double down on, well, you know that you shouldn't have been there in the first place. So embrace nepotism for those two reasons. And then finally, what I value about what I'm seeing in the Kardashians and the first family is that they are willing to prop up their family members, right? Because you don't get to 1.2 billion normally by yourself. Very few people have like truly come from the bottom and made it to a billionaire status. Jay-Z is one of the only ones that really comes to my mind. Maybe Oprah as well. For Kylie in this cosmetics company, she already had a huge significant platform in that her name and her lineage allowed her to put a product out that already had a mass following to it because of your reality show and who you're related to. So already there are millions of girls and guys who are following you and are like, whatever you put out, I'm interested in. I want because you've been the face of what I consider high class or valuable. Right or wrong, you are the face. So, for example, you could put out a beauty brand right now. There's nothing stopping you from, finding a product, putting your name on it, coming with a creative logo, and going, here, world, this is a new product that is guaranteed to remove wrinkles from your face. Great. Love that for you. However, you're not going to have the resources to market this thing. You're not going to have the name, which probably is the most important thing, the brand recognition, the eyes, the attention of people to get $1 billion by yourself. You're just not going to get it. So she got a platform that already put her, let's say, at $500,000 and then continued to do the work, because it's not all nepotism, to get it to 1.2 billion. So hats off to this family again for doing something where I'm not afraid to step on the shoulders of those that came before me. I'm not afraid to use the shoulders of those that are around me. Going back to this brand, during the episode, Kris spoke openly about Kylie's plans to expand her empire into a business that can one day be potentially passed down to her daughter, Stormy. Imagine being born into a billionaire lifestyle. Very few. How many billionaires are there in the world? No, let's just do in the States. There are 813. Think about that. There are 813 billionaires in the world. There are something like 8.6 billion. No, 8.06. There's a difference. There's a difference between 8.6 and 8.06. So, I got it. No, I got it. We're there. Actually, I've got a better idea. This is why AI was invented and why we'll eventually take over, because we've gotten stupid. Hey, GPT. Hey, friend. Hey, you guys. Hey, I love that it matches your energy. I need help with a math question. We still haven't even gotten to the number one family. This is crazy. I need help with a math question. Of course, what's the question? The question is this. What percentage is 813 people, 813 of 8.1 billion? That's the correct way to phrase that, right? What percentage is 813 of 8.1 billion? Part whole. No, don't tell me. I don't know. I don't want. That's what I. Wait, hold on. Did I do it right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 6, 7, 8, 9. I gotta stop smoking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, cool. 1 point times 10 to the negative 5%. So 813 is approximately. That's the number I was looking for. So what did I do wrong? Times oh, I forgot. I think it's because I forgot to times it by 100, right? Equals 1.0037 times 10 to the negative 5 percentage. It doesn't matter. 813 is approximately 0.0001004% of 8.1 billion dollar. 1 billion. So that's what it would be like to be born in the United States to a billionaire family. That is how lucky your roll of dice in life is. I like GPT because we can go even further with this. Can you give me an example of how extraordinarily rare that occurrence is? Right? This is a good way of phrasing that, right? Like it's still occurrence, right? I think there's 2 R's. Yep, there is. Sure, to put in perspective how rare 813 out of 8.1 billion is, here's an example. Imagine you have a giant swimming pool filled with 8.1 billion drops of water. Now picture randomly scooping up just 813 drops. That's how tiny that fraction is. Or think about winning the lottery. Many big lotteries like Powerball have odds of winning the jackpot around 1 in 292 million dollars. Your fraction is even smaller than that. It would be like winning the Powerball jackpot 34 times in a row. That's how rare it is. I love GPT. I love this use for GPT. Another way to see it, if every person on earth, around 8 billion people, represented one unit, then 813 people would just be a tiny neighborhood in a small town. You'd barely fill up a high school gym. That is how rare it is to be Stormy in this universe, in this world, in this life that we have. Kylie Jenner comes in at number 2, $710 million. I'm not sure what's going on here. It must be really cold outside. The dresses. One day we got to talk about fashion. I'd love to do a stand-on business on fashion, but first I'm going to talk about sex because I like that topic a lot more than fashion. Kylie's net worth has been somewhat of a journey over the years, and by that I mean Forbes declared her the world's youngest quote-unquote self-made billionaire at age 21, and then went ahead and dropped this headline a couple of years later, Inside Kylie Jenner's Web of Lies and Why She's No Longer a Billionaire. As with other Kardashian ventures, Kylie's business began as a way to cash in on a minor scandal. The youngest of the family, she spent more than a year denying tabloid speculation that she was using lip filler injections before eventually finally fessing up to it in May 2015. This is another thing that you have to give these women credit to because they are the most successful culture vultures of all damn time. Not going to get into it. You all understand what the hell that means. You know what they've been accused of. And it's not even at this point an accusation. It's very clear what they modeled a lot of their looks and their behavior off of, at least in the beginning. Now they've moved into what they really want. They did the Post Malone. But I can only tip my hat to somebody who saw an opportunity, knew what they liked, changed themselves to fit what they liked, and then just continued to build off that to increase their wealth to, again, the billionaire level of success. You can't be mad at a successful hustler, right? Be mad at the broke hustler all you damn want. Hate on the broke hustler all you damn want. Shame the broke hustler. What the hell can you do with the up hustler? The family tree is so much bigger than just those that have come from the loins of Robert, Chris, or Caitlyn. And continues to expand, but not just expand in like normal everyday ways, but expanding with people who are at the top of their fields and the top of their games. Noticeably a lot of rappers, a lot of black actors, black entertainers, but it's respectable and it's lucrative and it's smart deal making when you're building bridges amongst let's do it like this, right? In the old days when royal families would be like, you're getting married to other royalty, right? So you're getting married to the Queen of Victoria or like the Prince of Wales or whatever have you. It's almost like that, but for us in our times where our royalty are our celebrities, and they're like, well, to strengthen our bloodlines, let's merge with that super successful celebrity over there and produce offspring that are now a bridge between our families and a merging of our wealths. So it's incredibly brilliant. And I just, again, I respect hustlers and I respect businessmen. And at the end of the day, that's what this family is. It is a collection of some of the best businessmen we've ever seen in this world, the most lucrative businessmen. And, at the end of the day, it helps that they're beautiful, right? Like that's really what they're capitalizing off, is that I'm beautiful and that beauty sells at the end of the day. So that's our number 2 family. Let's move into number 1. I still got to figure out what the hell the title is. I'm happy to be wrapping this up with our number one most impactful family here. I like the word impactful. And this family, I'm putting them on the list because of the global reach that they have all had in a lot of ways, but also in ways that like sometimes people don't even recognize that it's because of them some of these people and things exist in the world of entertainment. And also because the traits that they've exhibited in order to maintain this level of success and fame is just, in a time like this, it's to be studied, applauded, and celebrated. And it was recently celebrated when they were inducted into the NAACP Awards Hall of Fame. So, of course, coming in at number 1, I am talking about the Wayans family. Yeah, that's right. I'm putting the Wayans brothers over the Kardashians. Suck it. Speaking of hustle, I think this is another family that exhibits straight grit, don't stop, can't quit mentality, going all the way back to the 80s. So, of course, you got the patriarch and the matriarch, Howell and Avera Wayans. We already said where they worked at. They had their family in a poor side of Harlem, ended up raising 10 children. Not all 10 went on to be famous. In fact, a good portion of them, we don't even know their names. I mean, we know their names, but we don't know who they are. But the ones that like truly changed the trajectory of the family and became staples in Hollywood, of course, you got Keenan Ivory with Wayans, the one we just talked about. What do we have here on Keenan? Keenan Ivory Wayans is best known for creating, writing, and directing some of the most iconic movies and shows associated with the Wayans family. He is often seen as the one who opened the doors for his other family members to find success as well, giving them opportunities when he broke through. For example, he wrote, created, and starred in the predominantly black sketch comedy series In Living Color. This show went on to help launch Damon Wayans as one of its breakout stars alongside Jim Carrey, David Alan Grier. Also, there's something to be said about Keenan being just so... You hear a lot of stories from his family members, especially Marlon, who seems to be the loudest out of all of them, and how instrumental he was in molding all of these young comics into what they became, and how he would train them and the mind games he would play. Like in the NAACP Awards speech, you hear Marlon talk about how when they were younger and they went out to visit Keenan, right, in LA, and he made them sit down and watch movies, comedic movies. And then he would come back and ask them to explain to him what made the movies funny. You hear other things where Sean and Marlon, when they were writing their first films, they would pitch it to Keenan and he would tell them, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but it sounded a lot like it sucks, go back and do it again. And they would have to go back and rework until they wrote like their 100th draft. And finally it was like, okay, I think you have something here. Let's put it on. Like he was super hard on his family. So although he was giving them the opportunity to, showcase their talents on the national scale, it wasn't just handouts. It was like, no, you're going to actually put in the work to show me that you're talented. I'm going to mold you into being great so nobody can take away the one greatest strength you have, which more than acting to him was being a writer, because at the time, right, there was only so many roles and they had the stigma of there could only be one leading black and everybody else was like fighting or competing or scrapping at each other. And he's like, if you know how to write, there'll always be an opportunity because you can always create a role for you. So he really instilled that in everybody. And then also outside of his family, you had some of the individuals in Living Color, like Tommy Davidson and Damon talked about when they were auditioning for In Living Color, because he even made his family audition for the show. Because again, I'm giving you the opportunity, but it's not a handout. You're going to show me that you work for it. And he did little sketches, or he would do trainings where he would throw out random scenarios for them to improv. And again, doing the games over and over just to sharpen that comedic edge. There's not enough that can be said about how great Keenan is, how instrumental he was for so many different individuals in Hollywood. And and that's why I love that they got the induction into the NAACP Hall of Fame, but it feels like that moment should have been so much bigger because this family, to me, like I said, is the number one largest, most impactful family in Hollywood. You can fight me on it, but I'm sticking with it. Number one. So also moving on, we got Damon Wayans, who quickly became the biggest star of the Wayans family in the early 1990s thanks to his standout part in the cast of In Living Color and his successful stand-up comedy career. And this was the first Wayans to break out with his own projects.
Hello there, fella. You know what you're having? It's called a nightmare. You know what a nightmare is? Well, that's all this is. Why don't you run on back to your room for that man jump out the closet and chop your little head off?
His talent, and it's crazy to see the transformation for Damon, right? When he starts off with so much energy and just like his aura, like it's one of those kind of like Martin Lawrence things where like it can't be contained. He's bouncing all over the screen, and to see that transition to where he's at now, where he's a lot more contained and kind of settled down. Obviously, he's in his 60s now, so you can't maintain that forever, but to see that growth and that maturity throughout the years has just been wild ride. But also, he goes on to appear in a number of buddy action comedies with some big name stars, such as Bulletproof with Adam Sandler and The Last Boy Scout with Bruce Willis. Later in his career, Damon Sr. made the switch to television, starring in the sitcom My Wife and Kids, another underappreciated show that you can watch on Netflix that has Tashina Arnold. Who else is in that show? I mean, you have Cat Williams, I think, appears in that show a few times. But then, of course, you also get Jennifer Freeman, who, like, you know, growing up, so many people had a crush on and absolutely loved. So the role gets introduced to her. I know I was definitely one of the many huge crush on her. Who else was on this show that was noteworthy? I said Tisha Campbell already from Martin, her own star. Megan Good was I think, child on the show, maybe? Yeah, would have been a child, like, on that show. Keenan was involved. Look at all these names. Terry Crews, Cat Williams, Alan Thicke, Serena Williams, Raven Simone. Again, it's great to see that the legacy is continuing on with like talent in the new generation of Wayans. Kim Wayans, the most underrated Wayans, arguably probably one of you hear a lot that they say that she's probably the funniest Wayans amongst them, but of course she's a black woman and it just becomes the mountain she has to face compared to the Wayans brothers is just incredible difficult, and yet continuously works. Now, a lot of the projects that she does work on is with her family, but that's what family is for, right? Because nobody else is going to do it for you. But she's had some things outside of her family as well. So let's look. It seems as though the male Wayans get most of the attention, but Kim Wayans has been one of the most steadily working members of the family for the past several decades. Like the other first-generation performers of the Wayans family, Kim got her start on In Living Color as one of the sketch performers, while she also starred with her brothers in the breakout movie Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood. Arguably my favorite Wayans movie of all time. I know a lot of people turn to White Chicks, but that only got two of them. This one had everybody involved. Keenan was in it, Marlon, Sean, Kim. I don't think Damon is in it, but I think, is Craig in that one? No. Either way, it's just one of the best Wayans movies, and it's like you can see its influences on what would eventually become Scary Movie. It's a parody of so many other hood movies, and it's so well done. I think this is what parody films have lost. The Wayans were really good at like parodying films, but also telling their own story while parodying films, versus a lot of the modern parody films just parody films. They're not telling a story. It's just a random assortment of jokes about other films. She has allowed follow-up family members to different projects, serving as one of the writers on Damon Wayans' My Wife and Kids, while also appearing in Dan's flick as Miss Don't Want to Be Bothered, which was directed by her son, Damian Dante Wayans. I thought so. Outside of her collaborations with family members, she also was in movies like Pariah as Audrey, Hawaii Five-0 as Diane, and Criminal Minds as Darlene Beckett. So she's done some television. Again, positive in that this family refuses to allow the system to define what it is they should or should not be doing. If you don't want to create a lane for us, we will write our own lane and be highly successful in doing so. Then you got Shawn Wayans, which is one part of what is probably the most famous brother duo in all of Hollywood. The Wayans brothers is his biggest role alongside his brother Marlon Wayans. 5 seasons of just pure hilarity watching these two and John Witherspoon, another actor that they continuously bring back into projects, or did. Rest in peace, John Witherspoon.
What that sound echoed in the night. Sound I hear without holding you tight.
Just again, roles weren't being given to John like that. Like the brothers talk about how when they were originally pitching the show to networks, the one thing that they had said they really wanted was John Witherspoon to be their dad. And the networks were like, nope, we don't know about this guy. We're not going to do it. He's a wild card or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, we're not going to do the project then without him. And so they put their own careers on the line for individuals to lift up. Another positive of this family, and something that's missing in this world right now. Everybody is so obsessed with me, and how can I do for me, and how can I step on the backs of others. And these individuals were operating in a way that could potentially hurt their careers, but were still willing to sacrifice in hopes of lifting up others, right? Sean, back to Sean, also co-wrote the screenplays for the first 2 Scary Movie films with Marlon, as well as playing the character Ray Wilkins in both movies. I want to stop here as well, because this is one of the stories that for the longest time had pissed me off, because I did not know in the beginning that Sean and Marlon and Keenan were behind the original 2 Scary Movies. Out of the 5 that came out, it is still the highest grossing of the projects. Looks like it grossed somewhere around $157 million. What else can we see here? Can we see budget? $19 million. Holy hell. We're not doing any more math today. I'm done looking dumb with math. The way, again, that movie tells a story while mocking Scream has not been recreated since that. Like, nobody's been able to do it. And I know the news that just got announced is that the Wayans brothers are back for Scary Movie 6, and I still would like to know what the deal was to get them back, because for the longest time, especially Marlon, again, who's the most vocal, saying that Miramax snatched that movie away from them, snatched the franchise away from them, complaining that it became just absolute heart garbage without the Wayans there to write it, which I completely agree. 1 and 2 are good. 1 is obviously much better than 2, but 3, 4, and 5 are just trash. Like, you can tell a completely different voice had stepped in. And then you have the original Scary Movie. Scary Movie changed horror movie comedies with its success and willingness to embrace absurdity, making fun of Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, among many others. The first movie in the franchise follows Cindy and her friends as a mysterious killer works their way through town. Keenan Ivory Wayans directed the movie, and there were several notable screenwriters credited for the script, including Shawn Wayans and Marlon Wayans. I don't like that they kind of discredit Shawn and Marlon for writing the script. Don't say several notable screenwriters. Say it was written by Shawn and Marlon, I think helped by Keenan. Don't make it seem like there was another possibly white writer in there who helped this script. Stop. What were we saying? And honestly, when you look at the acting skills of everybody, like, Damon was incredibly funny. Keenan was I think his talent is really behind the scenes, but he's like a completely serviceable actor. Shawn is really good when he has his brother to play off against. We haven't really seen him on his own. Marlon, to me, is probably the most talented actor amongst all of them, and I haven't gotten to see Kim that much as well, though. And there's clips that you see in, like, the Wayans brothers when she shows up, she holds her own very, very well, so I think she could give Marlon a run for his money as well as an actor. But when he plays something serious, he shows that he has wide range, and it becomes incredibly clear why a lot of directors were like, I want to see him outside of the comedy game. I want to see what he can do when he's gotten a dramatic role, something to chew on. But anyway, the point is, out of all of them, Marlon Wayans is clearly the most talented, but also just the most energetic and the most in love with the process of creating. And going back to the positives of this family, everybody seems to support him. When he talks about his comedy specials, he talks about how he goes back to them and shows them to Keenan, and he shows them to Damon, he shows them to Shawn, and he gets their feedback. And he says, like so many of us, I imagine, they're the most hardest ones to please. And especially with minds that are already creative geniuses and legends in their own right, I'm showing you something that has nothing to do with you. I'm showing some vulnerability, and I'm hoping that, I'm using you as the metric or the measure of success. And if I can make you laugh, and if you're happy with it, then I can be happy with it. So again, that sense of love and pride in family that's maintained, even as he's become really the star of it all. I mean, it shows a little bit of humility, and this is why I got to put them all at number 1 on the family with the biggest impact, not just because of what they've done for their family, but also what they've done for so many others. I listed the names and the impacts. Like I said, you don't get Anna Faris, you don't get Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, David Alan Grier, J-Lo. The list goes on and on. Individuals like Eddie Murphy and what happened there. And I'm not saying that these people wouldn't have blown up in their own right some other place. If you're meant for it, it'll happen for you. But the way that it happened in this universe, through the Wayans. So I'm giving the number 1 spot to the Wayans. Is there anything else that we want to say about these incredible families? We gave number 1 to the Wayans brothers. We gave number 2 to the Kardashians. And then we gave number 3 to fill in the blank, either the Smiths for me or the Estevezes. But you can also put in what you think is number 3. This video has gone on long enough. Like I said, there was really nothing I wanted to talk about. The world is depressing enough. We could have talked about the Gene Hackman thing, but I was just like, I don't want to focus in on somebody's death. Everything just has to be salacious now, when there's got to be some deeper mystery to it, and it's just gross. So I don't want to talk about that. The other big thing that was I wanted to kind of talk about the astronauts that are still stuck in space, because weren't they supposed to come home in fucking February? But even that didn't feel lighthearted enough. There's enough depressing ish in this world that this felt a lot more fun and relaxing and enjoyable. So that's why we chose this topic, even though it means absolutely nothing. Although, again, congratulations to the Wayans for the award, NAACP inducted into the Hall of Fame. I wish it was bigger news and getting Scary Movie back. Hopefully that deal is way more lucrative this time around and it can't just be snatched no matter how bad this movie does or does not do. That's all I got for y'all, man. Make sure you check out some of the other stand-on businesses, other videos on the channel. There's a social media page now. I'm not going to plug it yet because we're still building it up, but if you can find it, subscribe to it. Good luck. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for the time that y'all have put into watching these videos and leaving likes and leaving comments, leaving support. Remember to let me know what your thoughts are on the top 3 most impactful families in Hollywood, what they are in the comment sections below. It is time for you to come out the bushes, stop being scary, and let your opinions be known. Also join us on TikTok at RealJLW, where we're also talking about the same things and more. And I think the J Stay Right on IG is a place that you can listen to some of the quotes from this clip, or just right here on YouTube. You can do that as well. So I'll talk to y'all later. I appreciate the time. And remember, stand on something, fall for anything. We didn't really stand on anything, did we? No, we did. Marlon, the Wayans family is the most impactful family in Hollywood. That's what we're standing on this week. Let me know what you're standing on or fall for some bullshit. Bye.